He was once called the most complete fighter in the world. But when he killed a man by mistake, his life shattered. Now, haunted by guilt and hunted by the underground, Yuri Boyka fights not for glory, but for redemption. And when the world turns its back on him, he'll prove that even the broken can rise again. He's just walked out of a Russian hellhole. A man who survived the unforgiving walls of one of the toughest prisons on Earth. 10 years of underground fights, blood, and survival have molded him into a weapon. A weapon named Yuri Boyka. Now, free and reborn, he sets his sights on conquering the global MMA scene. But even in his darkest nightmares, Boyka never imagined that freedom could come with battles even deadlier than those behind bars. In the heart of Kyiv, Yuri trains like a man possessed. Every punch, every drop of sweat. It's not just about fighting anymore, it's about redemption. He's no longer chasing underground glory. He wants real titles, real recognition, a legitimate legacy. But back in the same Black Hills prison that forged his legend, a new monster is rising. They call him the Nightmare, a psychotic fighter feeding on chaos and fear. And soon, these two unstoppable forces will collide in a storm that could shake the fighting world to its core. Trying to cleanse his past, Yuri funds a local church searching for peace and faith. But when the priest tells him that violence can't lead to salvation, Yuri disagrees. He believes his fists are a gift from God, and not using them would be the real sin. Then comes his next test, a chance at a European MMA qualifier in Budapest. No shady backroom fights this time. This is the big league. The crowd roars as Yuri steps into the ring, facing a young, hungry opponent with eyes full of fire. From the opening bell, it's war. His challenger's speed and precision push Yuri to his limits, dodging, weaving, trading brutal blows. Every hit echoes through the arena like thunder. Yuri's calm starts to crack as frustration seeps in, but then something inside him snaps. He shifts gears, a flurry of devastating punches. Chest, jaw, temple. Every strike fueled by years of rage and regret. The opponent stumbles, falls, rises again, and refuses to quit. And that raw defiance lights a spark in Yuri, the fighter's respect. With one final combination, Yuri unloads everything he has. The ring falls silent. His opponent drops, motionless. The referee waves it off. Yuri wins. The crowd erupts, scouts rush in, offering him the next big fight. But the victory feels hollow. As medics rush his opponent away on a stretcher, Yuri catches a glimpse. The man's name was Victor, and he's fighting for his life. That night, Yuri can't sleep. The priest's words echo in his mind. The next morning, he storms into his manager Kirill's office demanding answers. Kirill shrugs it off. Fighters know the risks. But when Yuri learns Victor was from a small Russian town called Drovny and sees a photo of Victor with his wife, something inside him breaks. He decides to do the unthinkable, return to Russia even as a fugitive to atone for what he's done. When he arrives in Drovny, Victor's funeral is underway. Among the mourners stands Alma, Victor's widow, now drowning in debt and despair. A loan shark mocks her, reminding her that her husband's death doesn't erase what he owed. Yuri, meanwhile, sneaks into the town under a fake passport. He tracks Alma to a youth center, hoping to speak to her. But before he can, black cars pull up and drag her away. Following the trail, Yuri discovers she's been forced to work at a nightclub, a front for underground fights run by a ruthless crime boss named Zurab. Inside, a dirty fighter named Igor Kazmir reigns supreme, winning fights through sheer brutality. Yuri sees Alma working as a waitress, trapped in this den of violence. When he tries to approach her, security throws him out, warning him that she belongs to their boss. Outside, Yuri's temper boils over. The guards attack, and he dismantles them effortlessly. That's when Zurab himself steps out, clapping slowly. Impressed by Yuri's skills, he offers him a spot in his illegal fight circuit. But Yuri isn't here for fame or blood. He wants Alma's freedom. Zurab smirks. Everything has a price. He offers Yuri a deal. Win 3 fights in my ring, then face his undefeated champion, Igor. Win them all, and Alma goes free. And they both pay the price. Zurab also reveals that he knows Yuri's real identity, proving his influence stretches deep into the shadows. My ring, my rules, he says. Yuri agrees. He calls Kirill, postponing his return to the MMA circuit. This time it's not about glory, not about revenge. It's about redemption and saving a soul tied to the man he couldn't save. And so begins Boyka's most dangerous fight yet. Not just in the ring, but within himself. The next morning, the peace doesn't last long. Alma storms up to Yuri's hotel, fire in her eyes, accusing him of meddling in her life. She thinks he's chasing her out of guilt, or worse, for love. But Yuri's answer cuts through the tension. I'm not here to save you. I'm here to save myself. Soon after, the arena lights blaze. The crowd roars as Yuri steps into the ring for his first fight under Zurab's brutal rules. His opponent is strong, fast, dangerous. But Yuri is sharper. After a tense start, Boyka regains control, dismantling his rival with precision. 1 pin, 1 final slam. Victory. Zurab watches with a wicked smile, already planning his next move. Alma, cautious but moved, offers Yuri a bottle of water. He politely asks about a place to train, somewhere away from Zurab's corrupt world. Reluctantly, she agrees to let him use the youth center. Days later, it's time for fight number 2, and Zurab's trap. Yuri learns at the last minute that this isn't a fair fight. It's 2 against 1. The infamous Ozerov brothers, twin executioners of the underground circuit. Zurab smirks from his seat. My ring. My rules. From the opening bell, the brothers move like predators. Synchronized, merciless. Every punch, every kick is designed to break Yuri's body and spirit. For a moment, it looks like even Boyka might fall. Then something changes. He studies their rhythm, their breathing, their arrogance. And when he strikes, it's surgical. One brother drops, then the other. The crowd erupts as Yuri stands tall, chest heaving, blood dripping. A living embodiment of willpower. Among the roaring fans, Alma watches in awe. For the first time, she sees beyond the fighters. She sees a man haunted but unbreakable. Meanwhile, in the shadows of Zurab's office, another storm brews. Zurab meets a corrupt police lieutenant. He wants a monster, someone called the Nightmare, a prisoner feared even by the guards at Black Hills. The officer hesitates, but Zurab's promise of money and Yuri's capture seals the deal. Unaware of the danger closing in, Yuri keeps training. When Alma visits, she notices his back injury and offers an herbal treatment. He thanks her, but when he asks why she doesn't just leave the city, she snaps. This center was my husband's dream. I won't abandon it, or these kids. Yuri falls silent, understanding that Alma's chains aren't made of iron, but love and guilt. Zurab's patience wears thin. Jealous of Yuri's growing bond with Alma, he corners her. He twists the story, saying Victor's death was just an accident, but Alma doesn't buy it. Later, Yuri receives a call from Kirill. His name is plastered all over Budapest. Posters, billboards, headlines. Everyone's waiting for you, brother. Don't miss the chance. Yuri promises to catch the night bus, 9 p.m. sharp. But fate has other plans. When he returns to his hotel, Alma is there. Tears in her eyes, she demands the truth. What really happened to my husband? Yuri hesitates, then finally breaks. He confesses. The crimes, the prison, the anger that consumed him. He tells her how in that fight he stopped seeing Victor as a man and saw only an obstacle to his dream. I killed more than a fighter that day, he says quietly. I killed the man I used to be. Alma listens in silence. It's not forgiveness, but it's a start. Then comes the night that will define them both. Yuri versus Igor Kazmir, the club's reigning champion. The crowd's energy is electric. Kazmir is a predator, cruel, efficient, and ruthless. The moment the bell rings, he targets Yuri's injured back. Each strike lands with sickening force. The pain is unbearable, and Yuri crumples to the mat. Kazmir raises his hands, taunting the crowd. The fight seems over, but then a spark. Through the haze, Yuri locks eyes with Alma. Her fear becomes his fuel. He pushes himself up, defying every nerve, screaming for mercy. The crowd roars as Boyka surges back to life. He launches a furious counterattack in a storm of punches and kicks that send Kazmir staggering. And then, one final kick, clean, precise, devastating. Kazmir hits the ground, motionless. The arena explodes. The referee lifts Yuri's arm in victory. For the first time in years, he feels like he's earned more than a win. He's earned redemption. But Zurab? Zurab has other plans. With a cold grin, he announces, "The deal's not done. You've fought 3 battles, but not the real champion." And from the shadows, the ground shakes as a towering figure steps into the light. The Nightmare. Twice Yuri's size. Brutal. Unstoppable. The bell rings. Within seconds, the monster lands a crushing blow that sends Yuri sprawling. His mouthguard flies out. The crowd goes wild, chanting the Nightmare's name. Zurab leans back, smiling, certain it's over. But then the camera catches it. Yuri's fingers twitch. Slowly, painfully, he rises. Every breath burns. Every movement screams agony. But when he meets Alma's eyes in the crowd, the fire returns. Zurab's smirk fades. The Nightmare charges again, wild, relentless. But Yuri's not the same man who entered the ring. He adapts, dodges, counters. Then comes the turning point. A flurry of crushing punches to the chest, one after another echoing through the arena. The Nightmare stumbles. Yuri takes him to the ground, locking in a brutal chokehold. The crowd holds its breath. The Nightmare thrashes, gasping, roaring, but Yuri doesn't let go. And in that moment, the convict, the sinner, the broken man, becomes something more. The camera zooms in on Alma's tear-filled eyes, Zurab's clenched jaw, and Yuri Boyka, a fighter reborn, not just battling a man, but conquering his own demons. With one final burst of raw willpower, Yuri tightens the chokehold. The monster thrashes, roars, and finally his massive hand slaps the mat. The referee leaps forward, signaling the end. The crowd erupts, flashing lights, deafening cheers. Yuri collapses to his knees, broken, bruised, bleeding, but victorious. His body may be shattered, but his spirit stands unbroken. And as the chants of "Boyka! Boyka!" thunder through the arena, his eyes find Alma's in the crowd. A silent moment of triumph, of understanding, of redemption. He's done it. He's proven that no pain, no prison, no opponent can break his will. But victory lasts only seconds. As Yuri steps out of the ring, Zurab's men close in, steel batons in hand. They strike without warning. Yuri fights back, but exhaustion betrays him. Zurab grabs Alma by the arm, dragging her away through the chaos as Yuri falls to the floor, motionless. Alma's scream cuts through the roar of the panicked crowd. People rush for the exits, shouting about a police raid. Within minutes, the once glorious arena descends into pandemonium. But Boyka doesn't die that easily. Through the haze of pain, he forces his eyes open, blood dripping, body trembling. With a guttural roar, he rises. Every hit hurts, every step burns, but he fights through it, cutting down Zurab's guards one by one. A gunshot rings out. Yuri takes a bullet to the side, but keeps moving, fueled by pure will. Zurab, realizing his empire is collapsing, snatches a pistol and drags Alma toward his car. But Yuri follows. bleeding, limping, relentless. The chase spills into the dark alleyways behind the club. Gunfire echoes, sparks flash, and then silence. When the dust settles, Zurab lies defeated. The king of the underground has fallen, and Yuri stands over him, battered but alive, the fighter who refused to die. Alma rushes to his side, tears streaming down her face. She begs him to get help, to save himself this time. But Yuri, pale and barely standing, just shakes his head. "I've already been saved," he whispers. He looks into her eyes, steady, calm. "Can you ever forgive me?" Alma's lips tremble, but before she can answer, police sirens cut through the night. Blue lights flood the street. Yuri doesn't run. He doesn't hide. He steps forward, hands raised, surrendering not just to the law, but to his own fate. 6 months later, inside the cold stone walls of Black Hills Prison, Yuri Boyka sits alone. Older, quieter, but finally at peace. One day, the door opens. Alma stands there. At first, words fail her. She apologizes for not coming sooner, for needing time to understand. She tells him how her anger nearly consumed her, until she realized what his sacrifice truly meant. He didn't just fight for himself, he fought to give her back her freedom. With tears in her eyes, Alma finally says the words that lift a lifetime of weight from Yuri's shoulders. "I forgive you." For a moment, the world seems still. Yuri closes his eyes, exhaling deeply, as if letting go of 10 years of guilt in one single breath. No crowd, no spotlight, no roaring fans. Just peace.